Hello guys and welcome back, and if you're new to my channel I hope you find it very helpful. I discuss with you how you got snared, unfortunately, by the typical romantic NPD lover. Now today I'm going to talk about, do chronic NPD people have superpowers? NPD and other personality disorders suffer from emotional dysregulation. Emotional or affect regulation is not only related to the lack of modulation on emotional responses, as you may think, it's also related to the deficit in the way the brain is connected between areas. Now, they've had this condition since early childhood. It's quite tragic, actually, how the condition is developed. I've spoke about that in another video. If you like my videos and they help you, do me a favour, smash the like button so that I know I'm doing a good job, and let me know what it is you want to talk about. I do know a lot of you are quite interested in wanting to know more about the other love projects. I promise I will cover more about that subject for you, okay? So let's get back to, do they have superpowers? They're deluded, so they probably would like to think that they do have. Now, part of that dysregulation has to do with an overactive emotional brain and somehow a slow cortical activation, mainly in the frontal lobes. Another characteristic of the dysregulation is hyper alertness. They live in a perpetual state of paranoia. They must be approved of, they must be liked. Remember, I spoke about that over in other videos. Honestly, it's hardwired into them, hence why you were love bombed. They needed your approval, but they can only keep that sweet, tender mask up for a certain amount of time. Anyway, the need to be alert comes from that instinct to be looking out for danger. We have a whole system that checks for danger based on recognising signs in another person's face, and they read their basic emotions. Therefore, many people that suffer from dysregulation, they claim to be intuitive. Reality is that they are just hyper alert, but in fact they have an instinctual need to read other people's faces, to see if they can be trusted, to see if they can manipulate them, and to see if they can be safe with them. Do they get it right most of the time? I'll tell you about that a little bit later. Now, they think that they can sense their lover's emotions, but often that's not the case, but they're very alert trying because they are very concerned about it, but that doesn't mean they get it right. Intuition is related to a part of the brain that is normally very off with the condition NPD. If they were intuitive, they would in fact be empathic. And it's been noted that it's usually the empath that gets snared by the romantic NPD lover. Now, I said to you earlier, do they get it right? I believe most of the time they get it wrong. That's why they don't trust others, because in their mind there is dissonance. There's a massive lack of harmony. This is why most of their relationships, when they do take somebody off the shelf and decide to keep them, there's a lot of on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, highs, then there's the lows, then there's the highs, then there's the lows. And quite often the lover, the partner, is deeply unsatisfied because the NPD partner is so dysregulated with their lover's emotions. They just can't read them. So it seems they are not intuitive to people's feelings. But what they can do, remember, they don't feel empathy. They are very good actors. They can talk the talk, walk the walk. Okay? Are they genuinely intuitive to your feelings? Not so much. I believe the superpower that they do seem to have, that the majority of us don't seem to have, is they can switch off completely and walk away from a person who loves them, who will stick by them. They will just leave them. They will literally, it feels like, skip off and just not look back. That is a superpower, because most of us are unable to do it because we have too much empathy and we have feelings. That's the NPD's superpower for sure. The manipulation skill that they do effortlessly, and the gaslighting and the fluent lies and twisted truths? Are these superpowers? Again, no. They all come from the need, this perpetual need to be seen as perfect. They must be liked, they must be approved of, they must be the best. Hence all the different masks and why they mirror each potential love source.